If I release an egg and a sperm successfully gets inside, does it have rights?
There has been a ballot initiative that has been proposed here in Colorado that would grant rights from the moment of fertilization.
Bearing in mind that I was never an art student nor a biology major, this can perhaps give us a little bit of clarification, or nightmares about giant crab people. The ovum, the fallopian tubes, the uterus. Sperms come up, egg comes down. If one of those sperm penetrates that egg, its tail falls off, and this becomes a zygote.
It is a constitutional amendment, so those rights would be enshrined in Colorado's Constitution.
Okay, basically all we're doing is something very simple, just defining what a person is under Colorado's Constitution. Our amendment basic wording is as used in Articles 3, 6, and 25 of the Colorado Constitution. The word person or persons shall be defined as a human being from the moment of fertilization. So we're just defining what a person is under Colorado's law.
The question that voters would face here in Colorado if this ballot initiative qualifies is, shall there be an amendment to the Colorado Constitution defining the term person to include any human being from the moment of fertilization, as person is used in those provisions of the Colorado Constitution relating to inalienable rights, equality of justice, and due process of law.
The zygote keeps coming down, but the big question is, does it stick? If it doesn't stick to the uterine lining, was I ever even pregnant? Many of the most effective forms of birth control work by making this uterine lining less hospitable, therefore making it less likely that a fertilized egg will attach and develop from there.
These rights would extend to all fertilized eggs here in Colorado. So when we're talking about the moment of fertilization, that raises questions about the use of the most effective forms of birth control. It raises questions about the ability to continue to conduct embryonic stem cell research. And it raises questions about the use of in vitro fertilization, because there are more fertilized eggs that are created in a laboratory environment than that are actually implanted into the woman to hope for pregnancy.
I think a lot of people like to broaden the scope of the issue and say there's more here and it's more complex, when it's really not. As far as birth control and in vitro fertilization, abortion, all of that, our amendment doesn't ban anything. That would be up to the legislatures and courts. If our amendment passes, and that's considered a person under our laws, then considering the fact that it's a person, they'd have to view those issues in that way.
There is a division within various anti-abortion communities, and that division does include either trying to chip away at the right to safe, legal medical care by imposing certain mandates and restrictions, or there's the attempt to overturn Roe versus Wade in its entirety, and this initiative falls into the latter category.
In Roe versus Wade, actually the justice who wrote that opinion said if personhood was ever established, the case for abortion would collapse. And if you read the abortion cases that have been before the court, personhood is never established. That's an issue out there that's not been defined. So we're trying to define it, and that will present a new issue to the court. So we'll see what they do with it. They have said it could create a new issue. I don't think the legislatures after this would take it upon themselves to outlaw in vitro fertilization, for example. There's certainly ways to do that. Science always rises to the challenge. There's certain ways to modify that slightly to where personhood is still respected, and in vitro fertilization, which is trying to create life, can also still happen. As far as birth control, there's certainly ways, there's certainly forms of birth control that would not be outlawed by a legislature after this. But just to make sure I'm being clear, our amendment isn't going to ban or stop anything. So who knows what the legislature and courts will do after that.
This is Corrine McDermid for the UpTake, feeling very exposed in Denver, Colorado.